Hello everyone, it's your girl Naija Queen Bee, and I'm here today with this beautiful ladies. We have the founder of It's Just Us Girls. Can you guys introduce yourselves, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Abiodun and I am the founder of It's Just Us Girls Workshop. And It's Just Us Girls Workshop is a self-confidence workshop that promotes self-love amongst young adults and teenagers. And the main reason for this workshop was something that resonated with my heart. I went to high school in Nigeria, went to high school here, and of course, the first few years when you migrate from another country to here, you get bullied, you go through like several adversities. I'm so grateful to God that I used those experiences to shape who I am today, and I'm so thankful to God for that.
Yes. What you're doing under It's Just Us Girls is phenomenal. Like, I was in your first workshop, and a lot of people, if you missed it, you missed something great. Can you tell us what made you come up with that workshop? What was the thought process behind that workshop, and how you felt after the workshop was over?
I think the main thing for me is I like to remove myself away from, I don't like to always be like the public figure of when it comes to It's Just Us Girls. Yes, I am the founder, quote unquote, but I always like to look at myself as also a student where I learning as well. So it's not just about what I'm there to give. I'm also willing to receive from people and also know that we're all here to learn. And I think the most important part, especially going to the third installment now, I've learned throughout this process that you should always be open-minded with receiving information. We all go through things that sometimes we're not aware of, and in a society and in a world where we've all been taught to build a wall and not speak to each other, not talk to each other, a platform like that is where you get an opportunity to do so and not be judged. You remember every story that people talk about, but then you go back later on. I actually do that myself too, and I'm sure you can relate to the last time, and you can relate as well to the workshops. Like, you listen to someone's story and you're like, wow, okay, I leave that in a box, and then listen to someone else's and I'm like, wow. So you combine those stories together and you just kind of, I wouldn't say live your life precisely, but also remind yourself that if I were in the situation that this person is or was, this is how I want to be able to help myself through those processes as well, and not make sure I don't fall out, and if I do, how I would be able to get myself back up. So the first one was a bit more personal. Actually, you came to the second one, so the first one was a bit more personal. It was just a girlfriend that I put together, and we had Stella the Masses, who was the actress. She's a Nollywood big time actress. Thank you, Stella. I'm grateful to God that we had those moments, and that moment was very personal, and we all get to share things. And the second one was a line of professionals where everyone who was in their professional areas of their life got to speak about how they got to where they are today, and how they were able to, whatever adversities that they went through, they were able to go through that. So, I'm truly grateful to God that I don't only use that opportunity to always give out, but also receive myself, because we all don't know it all. But through the art of wanting to learn, makes you appreciate that, there's a lot more in this life that you can, definitely learn from it. Titi, if you want to add anything to that.
People are beginning to understand what it's about, and they can see that how this is affecting or influencing their lives positively. And that's the reason why I joined this group, because I felt like this is a great message that should be sent out in every home. That would have been great if we all grew up that way, where someone is telling you can be confident, you can do this, you do great, but we don't get that anywhere. So we need that support system somewhere else. If you don't get it at home, It's Just Us Girls is there for you. So that's why I'm a part of this, and that's why I think that that's what it's doing. That's the movement that it's making and taking us to another level where everybody wants to be a part of this. And we're grateful to God for it.
Yeah. I know small steps leads to greatness, and the name is totally catchy. I love it because I know if you guys watch my vlogs, I'm very big on females. I'm very big on what girls go through, and I really appreciate what you're doing for everybody. And I know we need to bring this more outside of the Nigerian community, make it more global, because there is a lot of girls out there that they do need some type of push, some type of encouragement, somebody to mentor them, somebody to look out for them and support them. So good job, ladies. Like I really love it. So I do see that you have number 3 coming. Yes, she's been promoting something bigger than I have ever imagined.
So I am foundation. I think this is a great avenue to actually like break it down. So after, It's Just As Girls is going to be a year, June 13th actually, and we're so like I can't even say how thankful I am to God for that. And after just going through that process and actually from the workshop, of course people are going to pay together, and we use those proceeds to donate money to an hospice that I visited in December. That was part of a charity work that resonated with, I love giving back. Like, we spoke on to the giving back is something that I feel like if I have the resources to, I shouldn't limit myself to just having that. Like, I feel like even if it's just a little that I have, like they say, even half bread is better than none. But the fact that you have that half bread, how much more can you make that half bread surplus to your own environment? And I feel like that's something that when I went to the hospice in December, I felt so overwhelmed, and I was like, this could have been me, and I think I've gotten to that point in my life where I'm not ashamed to tell my story anymore. I was raised in a broken home. My mom left to America for a better life, like every other Nigerian parent, to come find, opportunities. My father was where my father was, he was also trying to figure himself out. And that's no offense to any of my parents, we all make decisions that eventually we do not know if they're going to affect or build our children. And that's what family are for. They either make or break you. It is up to you to find how you want to rebuild your life throughout those moments. And after going to the hospice, and I saw these kids, the one that really broke my heart was a day before we got there, a woman threw her kid right at the doorstep, and his arm was twisted.
Wow.
And I think to myself, she didn't do that because she didn't, at first when I know, she thought as a mother, because she wanted to provide for her child. But because she didn't have the right resources to provide for the child, she got scared and didn't know what else to do. So you know what? She thought that was the easiest thing for her to do. But there are other easier, I wouldn't say the easiest way, but to her that was what she thought was right. Because honestly, in the world that we live in today, nothing is either right or wrong. At least I don't think nothing. The only thing that we can pray for is that as we're making each decisions in our life, God approves of it. And He alone is all that matters. After visiting the hospice, that made me cry. I left there like, no, you just have to be part of this. And I spoke to the founder, and I was like, I was reaching out, I was like, listen, I need to donate more. I need to do more of this. I need to be part of it. But I didn't only think that I wanted to do just that. I didn't think it was just the orphanage. I thought of it like, what led the woman to do that? An abused man. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to create a foundation that promotes giving back to abused women, to orphans, anything else that involves charity. I would do it if I have the power to. And I cannot do that alone, because it takes a village to raise a child, because I didn't get to this point where I am right now just by one person raising me. Like, I can remember in Nigeria, they would drop me off on the weekend to Auntie So-So-So's house, and then the next weekend it's this other person's house. So whatever I was able to instill from each home has made me who I am today. So why shouldn't I be able to create a foundation that does the same for everyone else? And that's where I Am Foundation would be launching June 24th. It's going to be at 803 Lounge, and I'm hoping that everyone, once the tickets and everything gets out there, please get your tickets, because there are going to be performances from ABO boys. There's going to be a dancer, there's going to be guitarists. I don't want anyone to miss out of this, because this is such a huge part, and it's also in the honor of It's Just As Girls. So now we have a main foundation, and It's Just As Girls is just a branch of it, and we can only imagine what else is just going to come from. And let me tell you, when you're in God's land, there is no limitation to where He's going to take you. So once you hear go, you just have to go. You don't care what's behind you, what's in front of you, you just have to go. So that is why I say, like, you don't know what else is going to come from it, because I didn't do this just on my own. I didn't do this because I thought, well, I was cool. It's because every event in my life has brought me to this point of my life, because God has kept me alive to this very moment.
Okay. Wow, that's deep. Very passionate. What do you have to add to what she said in regards to I Am Foundation?
It's all about giving. If you come, please come with your money. We need money to be able to do this, and we need you. We need your help. So please come out for the event, and let's not forget that It's Just Us Girls also having a workshop the day after, and so you're invited. You should come.
Yes. And there you have it. It's Just Us Girls, I Am Foundation. Abiodun and Titi. They are out here changing lives, making a difference. You guys need to go out there and support them in June. The dates are going to be under here. They're going to be on our website. They're going to be on their pages, on their websites also. So you guys, here you have it on Nigeria Community TV. Support charity work. Support hardworking entrepreneurs. Support hardworking females that are trying to make a change in this world we live in. Thank you guys so much for sharing your stories. Thank you for everything you're doing for the community. And I hope other people see what you're doing and support. Even if you can attend, you can donate. They have resources for you guys to donate.
Easy, magic fingers.